Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is me. I am back. Apologies for not having done these earlier in the week, or I've kind of slacked off a little bit with them. As you guys know, I was under the weather. For those wondering about some of the other podcasts I've been on, I have taken, I guess, what you can consider to be about a month-long sabbatical, a little bit of a break from some of the longer podcasts in the evenings and stuff like that, just to kind of refresh myself, take a little break, have some fun, just enjoy myself, and that's exactly what I've been doing. So if anybody that's been asking, so there's not going to be an Xbox Nation tonight, but there will be one back next week, next Wednesday, and if all goes according to plan, we'll have an M&C this Sunday. But other than that, yeah, it's just a very cool time to talk about games and what's going on. And there was a plethora of news that came out today, so I figured, hey, why not go ahead and test myself and see if I can actually talk and stuff like that. If you guys didn't know, I'm getting over a little bit of strep throat and the flu and stuff like that. As you guys join in, please hit the like button, share it out. I would really appreciate it. Yes, RIP for Pops. If you guys didn't know, I remember him in an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I also remember him mostly, obviously, from like the Friday movies and stuff like that. So he was a really funny guy. I believe he was in like the Wayans Brothers. They had a show at one time. So yeah, it was really cool to see that. What's up, Enrico? How's it going? I see a lot of cool people. Enrico is there. One Typical is there. What's going on? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Hey, Mr. Miracle, dude. Listen, things change every day with people, man. People are gonna say what helps them out the most, right? The problem is eventually that stuff catches up to you. Listen. The funny thing is, people will throw up in my face something that I said 3 years ago versus something somebody said like 6 months ago, and now it like changes tunes or whatever. If you're a fanboy, say you're a fanboy. I've always admitted that I was a fanboy. I was an Xbox fanboy through and through. Like, there was no doubt about it. I had no problems admitting it. The thing is, not everybody is going to admit that, they so that they can come across as being neutral or whatever. But let's just be real. Everybody has a preference for something. Nobody's like, I don't think there's anybody that's like, oh, I'm a baseball fan, but I don't have a favorite team. Or I'm a football fan, but I don't have a favorite team. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think things really work like that. So, Forced Error General, what's up? How's it going? Hope everybody's doing good. 9 lives. I've taken lots of L's in my life. That's what makes me, man. Vitali, what's going on? I see Seth, what's going on? Let's see. First, I remember him. Yeah, Hollywood Shuffle. Definitely. As you guys shuffle in here, like that little segue, please hit the like button, share it out. I would appreciate it. You guys are pretty amazing. And I definitely appreciate everybody that, comes in and supports the channel and stuff like that. So, it really does mean a lot. Again, I was very much under the weather. I had the flu. I had strep throat. I could barely talk, lost my voice. So that's, basically how my week's been going. It's getting better just in time, obviously, for Halloween and stuff like that. So, definitely happy to kind of be here and talk about some of this stuff. I don't even know, you know what I mean? I don't even know, pretty much basically what's going on with a lot of that stuff. But let's see. Yeah, I'm going to be answering questions and stuff like that, so you don't have to worry about that. But there was quite a few things to talk about specifically that I wanted to talk about first, and then get your guys' take, and then as well be able to go out there and kind of, talk about some more things, since I'm not going to be able to do Xbox Nation tonight, and we're just, going to have some fun with this. I just wanted to do that and everything like that. So make sure you guys hit the like button, share it out, so that everybody can kind of do it. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. So, if you guys didn't know, PlayStation 4, now the second best-selling home console ever, only behind the PlayStation 2. Now, I do believe that the original Nintendo DS is higher, but I think they're just talking about home consoles here, okay? Which makes a lot of sense. If you got it talking home consoles, then it's home consoles. I think handhelds are a completely different thing. So, obviously, the PlayStation 4 became the fastest selling console, or the fastest console to reach 100 million units sold, pushing it into the all-time list. And we knew it was a freaking mega power at the beginning of the generation, the way that it just took off. Even though it had the slow stream of games, if you guys remember, like for me personally, I watched the PlayStation reveal, and I was more impressed with the PlayStation reveal than the Xbox reveal. But at the same time, I was more impressed with the games, which is what matters most to me as a gamer. And so I went with Xbox at first. I did get a PlayStation, obviously. I think in time for, I don't remember what year the Order came out, but I got the collector's edition of the Order. And people are like, well, why'd you get that game? And I was like, well, same reason I bought Rise for the Xbox One when it came out. You know, everybody wants that showpiece, that game that's going to showcase why you bought this particular next-gen console. And I think those games both did that for the consoles, even if they weren't great games. So they did their latest financial report, and it sold another 2.8 million consoles in the last quarter, which you have to keep this in mind, right? They talk numbers. They had a down quarter, right? Obviously, and we can start to see the trend that things will go down. They'll have a slight rebound over the holidays because we're going to see a drop in price and stuff like that. One thing I don't understand about Sony or Microsoft this gen, which is different than most other generations featured price drops all the time. When wasn't the PS3 getting a price drop, guys? Do you remember that? The PS3 used to get a price drop like every single day or something. I know that's obviously fictitious, but it seemed like the PS3 was getting tons of price drops. The PS4, believe it or not, I think the Slim is still technically, what, $249 or $299? That thing should be $199 all the time and on sale for $150 come like Black Friday and stuff like that. And the Xbox One S should be $199 and on sale for $150 come Black Friday. Like, the X should be no more than $299 at this point, in my opinion. Like, what is the holdup with these consoles not going on sale? I don't understand it. So they actually said that this pushes the PS4's total to approximately almost 103 million, just beating out the original PlayStation's 102.5 million. So now it's the second best home console ever in terms of sales. Also beating out the Wii. Can you guys believe the Wii sold so well? Holy cow, the Wii was a heck of a thing. My opinion on PlayStation Plus November, Neo and Outlast 2. I've not played either of those games. Those games seem more like they would have been better off for the October games, but they seem like a really good games, okay? So I think that's really great. And when I saw Microsoft's games in comparison, you know, those don't really strike me as games that are great, in my opinion, okay? Like, their game, I didn't even know what those two games are. So, 9 Lives, Xbox has not sold 60 million. Even if we want to be kind and believe the latest numbers that kind of leaked out by, what is that, MSN or whatever, it was 46 million, bro. So you're looking at like an over 2-to-1 deficit there for Microsoft. As you guys shuffle in, please hit the like button, share it out. I definitely appreciate it. Frigate says, I wonder how many copies of Concrete Genie and Medieval sold out of that 103 million. I don't know. I wonder how many copies of Blair Witch and Crackdown 3 sold for Microsoft. Like, we'll never know. I don't know. Only Sony says, you canceled the pre-order because someone gets to play it on Windows? No, not really. I never had Death Stranding pre-ordered to begin with. You know, that doesn't look like my type of game. I'm intrigued by it. Supposedly, I'm going to get a free copy from this bet that I won, but we'll have to see how it goes. Shaggy says, make sure you let the Xbox know to thank the PlayStation guys for helping Obsidian fund their next game. 78% PS4 physical sales in the UK. Dude, every single person that I saw take a picture of playing Outer Worlds, what's up, J-Dub? Every single picture that I saw of people playing Outer Worlds was PS4, right? Every time they're like, here's a picture, here's this, here's that, right? Like, we kept seeing this, okay? It was just so funny to see everybody picking this game up on PS4. Like, why is everybody playing this game on PS4? Who really knows? But again, most people own a PS4 than an Xbox One, so I guess that could be, you know, that could definitely be a thing. Hold on. Lansville Paul says, there's a very strong rumor that Xbox Lockhart is truly a thing, not canceled. Your thoughts? Well, listen, Phil Spencer's going to Phil, right? Phil Spencer said that there was only one console, and it wouldn't surprise me if he lied because that's what Phil Spencer does, okay? Yes, Biggie, I have played Call of Duty. Thank you very much. I've been enjoying the campaign. Let me just point this out. I know, like, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be on Crossfire this Friday or not. I might not come back till Sunday to do another podcast. But, man, Mooch always makes fun of the fact that it's the campaigns are the same old thing. Follow Captain Stu that's around. I got to say, so far, I'm loving what I'm playing with this campaign. I'm hearing it's like 5 to 6 hours long or whatever. I'm just playing it on the normal mode, guys, not super veteran or super easy, just a normal mode, and I'm doing pretty good at it. I'm telling you, the graphics on the X look insane. I do hear that the performance is a little bit better on the PlayStation 4 Pro, but, you know, I got it on the X because I got it gifted to me, so, hey, it is what it is, and I'm very appreciative of that, and I'm thinking that this game is really, really good, and this is what happens, okay? You know, when a company listens to what the fans want, I've said it for years, Call of Duty fans want a great single-player campaign that's like a blockbuster movie. They wanted an updated engine. They got both those things. The graphics look sick. The voice acting is better. The story is on point. It's very poignant. It's very nowadays. See, the thing is, this game, from what I played so far, shouldn't even be considered, you know, like what might be people might consider it to be like risky, or, you know, they're taking risks. This is like more like real. You see more stuff like this is like the stuff you see in the news. Okay, so this is like real type stuff. Why do people think are offended by this? I don't know. I think that that's just something because everybody's offended by something these days. But I do think that it is probably the best Call of Duty since some of the ones on the 360. Absolutely great. Nice to see Infinity Ward back. They come out with this game. Boots on the ground is what people want. Modern stuff is what people want, and it looks like they got that. So I'm really happy about it. It's called, yes, so far from what I played on the campaign, it's really good. Listen, if you're a person that wants to play it a couple times and maybe play it on veteran, you're going to have, you know, a little bit tougher time of it. I'm hearing 5 to 6 hours. I'm a few hours into it, and it is really, really good. There's different modes and stuff to play as well, so you have to take that into consideration as well. So, you know what, I'm very satisfied with it. I'm happy that I got the chance to play it. You know, so I'm really, really happy. Chris says lazy devs didn't optimize it for the X. Listen, this is a problem that's going to happen and continue to happen for Xbox for numerous reasons, okay? First of all, how many people own an Xbox One X? I don't know how many people own one, but I can tell you this. There's probably not enough for most of these developers to focus a lot of time on. So unfortunately, that's a problem. That's where sales come into play, okay? If your games aren't selling a lot, you're not going to get sequels. If there's not a lot of people who have your console, you're not going to see a lot of people take their time out to optimize properly or correctly for these things. So just take that in mind as we go forward, that's the kind of thing that can happen. That's why console sales, believe it or not, even though people like to spin it otherwise, they do matter. Like, it's all great that Sony or whoever, Microsoft, want you to play the games wherever you want, where you're pooping or whatever. But at the same time, if you're not actually out there, you know, the main thing for me is playing on a regular console, and you spend $500 on an X, it should be absolutely premium. And especially with new games and stuff like that, I feel like we should see, you know, we should see something. You know, better. Activision for sure is not a small studio. You understand it a little bit more with some of the smaller studios, but for me personally, it is a little bit weird to see how we're getting such, you know, kind of crappy ports or whatever and stuff like that. So I do wish that we did get a little bit better out of that, but at the end of the day, there's not a whole lot you can do. You know what I mean? I wish that we could do better. I wish that they would have done, you know, more developers would take advantage of the X. But at the end of the day, they don't really do it. So, you know, I really do hope that they can kind of write that next generation. And I think to Microsoft's credit, to everything, I do think that both consoles are going to get really, really good versions of the games. There's not going to be any of that dumbing down because they're going to be so close in power. So I know that everybody thinks, you know, one thing or the other, right? But at the end of the day, you know, Microsoft and Sony, they both have this incredible machine next generation. They're both going to be so similar that it's going to be very interesting to see how these kind of take off and to see how these things kind of, you know, do for each other. So that's what I'm excited. I'm excited to see how developers sort of, you know, take advantage of these and the payoff for everything that we get. So hopefully we can do that. And that's what I'm most excited about. Listen, I don't want Xbox dudes to suffer because, you know, their console might be inferior. I don't want PlayStation dudes to suffer because their console may be inferior. Yeah, that's kind of funny sometimes when you're talking about, you know, some of the stuff that we talk about in console warring and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, man, everybody should get the best version that they possibly can that takes advantage of the stuff at hand. And what that means is I really like it when, a developer takes advantage of, like when Xbox was using the Kinect. Use the Kinect. Use the touchscreen on the PS4 controller. Use the microphone on the PS4 controller. Like, take advantage of the stuff that's offered if you can. But you guys notice how most of that stuff nobody took advantage of third-party wise, like the triggers on the on the Xbox One. Nobody, rarely outside of first party, took advantage of any of that stuff. So yeah, it was very interesting to see how these developers kind of handle some of this stuff and things like that. As you guys join in, please hit the like button, share it out. Let's get up over 100 likes as quickly as we can. I would definitely appreciate it. Shaggy says, I'm just really hoping the backwards compatible rumors for PS5 are true. If it does all PlayStation generations, it's going to be the last curb stomp. Listen, I think that's going to be great. I hope that it does backwards compatibility with all the previous PlayStations. What a great thing to have. I'm all for game preservation. This is the thing that I'm always pushing for. I know a lot of people think I'm just a dinosaur when it comes to gaming, and in a lot of ways I am. Roar! I'm a dinosaur. I get it, right? I like certain things. Even though I'm adopted to mostly digital, I still have a huge collection of physical games. And not only do I have a huge collection of physical games, but I like to continue to have the option to buy those. And not only that, but older games as well. I feel like it's very important to have these older games, for people, so we can like have our kids play them and their kids like pass them down and things like that. And I think that's super important to preserve games. Same thing with game modding. I'm not a person that likes to mod games, right? But I think that it's cool that people do and the option there. And this is my problem with streaming and stuff like that. So I really hope that in the future we're able to sort of still be able to do that. Chris says Outer Worlds 1's great on the X. That's cool. I haven't downloaded. It's not really my cup of tea. I am super happy for Obsidian though, right? Like, this is not a thing because people think I like PlayStation more now, so of course Crap's not gonna like Outer Worlds. I've been on record for many years as saying I'm not a Fallout fan. I do not like Fallout games. I've tried Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3, Fallout 4. I have Fallout 76, and I've never even played the game. But the other 3 Fallouts I've played, and they just aren't my thing. I think some of it has to do with the first person's perspective. Some of it has to do with like just the way that they're set up. So I've heard good things about Outer Worlds, but it just doesn't seem like something that's going to appeal to me personally overall. Moonwalker says, any reason you would not recommend getting Modern Warfare on the PlayStation as has a console exclusive mode and looks better, still has cross-platform play? Yes. Listen, you can get Call of Duty on either or, right? I think that it performs better frame rate wise on the PS4 Pro, and you can still play with people on Xbox in crossplay. So, hey, what a world to live in, right? I think that's great. For me personally, I think that that's pretty damn awesome. Let me see. Yeah, I'm digital too, but I still have over 100 physical games on Xbox One. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. My opinion on Ghost Recon Breakpoint is, look, Ubisoft is running into a problem, and their problem is the same problem that Microsoft kind of has, and that is the fact that, they're releasing these games as a service games, and there's not enough content there to really warrant the games, and there's not enough difference, there's not enough change there. And if you look at what's going on, I brought this up the other day. So let me just complain to you guys in the audience real quick, and I'll get back on topic. I got a few topics I want to cover. I'm not in a super hurry, so buckle in, hit the like button, share it out. I appreciate it. But let me complain about something real quick. Remember when Gears of War 5 released, and I was the only one to start talking about the problems that it has, right? And for those that don't know, between Gears 1, 2, 3, and Judgment, Gears Ultimate, and even Gears 4, I've put thousands of hours into the Gears of War franchise, mostly on the multiplayer. Of course, played the single player. I think I beat 2 out of the 3 on the 360 on Insane Mode. I co-op that, and so I have Gears books and comics, and I have a tattoo and the collector's editions. I consider myself a hardcore Gears fan. So I get in an argument with somebody who's like claiming I'm not hardcore. I get it, I'm not like a Gears 5 hardcore person, right? Because I'm not liking the game. But I was the one who originally was complaining about a lot of this stuff, right? And I was complaining about Gears when nobody else was. Everybody else was saying this game was Game of the Year, right? Gears of War 5, Game of the Year. In fact, I supposedly won a copy of Death Stranding because somebody bet me that it was going to get a 95 Metacritic, and it didn't. It got the exact same Metacritic as the last game. So what's the difference here? What's the thing that's different between Gears 5 and Gears 4? Was Gears 4 generously rated? Because I think Gears 5 might be better in a lot of aspects, but I'm not sure that it's better. I'm not sure that it warrants a higher than 84 score. Whereas Gears 4, I feel like it was a worse game, but still got an 84. Maybe that one deserved like a 70-something Metacritic. I don't know. But for me personally, I think that what Microsoft has done, they kind of got caught with, and they kind of got caught with their pants down. Now listen to this. The reason why I was complaining about it, and people go, whenever I talk the truth about my opinion or whatever, people just assume that it's for clicks. Listen, it's not a secret. I lose subscribers. What do people think is going to happen? I love it when people go, oh, you're just kissing Sony's ass because you want more subscribers. I'm like, I had 60,000 subscribers. I was good. You know what I mean? I could have just blew smoke up people's ass like a lot of other YouTubers and pretended like Xbox was fine and I was perfectly happy with everything they're doing. But I don't trust their process. And I'm not saying that I'm 100% on board with Sony's doing either, right? Like, I do possibly think that Sony's going to keep their first-party exclusives exclusive. I don't think they're putting them on PC. So I think that's a good move. But even what they're doing with Death Stranding, a 6-month buffer, I'm happy with that. I wish Microsoft would do that. I'd be much more happy if Microsoft gave console owners a reason to buy their console. That's a reason to get a console. I'm going to play these games first on my console. Don't put them in Game Pass day and date. Give a 3-month buffer. That's a reason to buy a game. But it's still a reason to subscribe to Game Pass because, you know what? That's still a good value. You're still going to have good games in there. But I digress. Back to what I was speaking of. The problems were, as a hardcore fan that I was of the series, and I'm not a hardcore fan of Gears 5, mind you. I want to put that out there. The fact was this. That game was made for hardcore players. It's not a casual game. So they added this casual arcade mode, right? But there's no way to opt out of playing with PC players a lot of PC players, not saying all of them, but a lot of them are very hardcore and play with a keyboard and mouse, and it naturally gives you an advantage. So you have that. The number one complaint in the forums, mind you, is the fact that you can't disable crossplay in the arcade mode. Now, you can also check out the forums where people are very, very upset with this. There's other reasons to be upset. No matter what mode you're in, there's no more. Used to be able to do a thing called an active reload, and you could get damage increase with that, where if you nailed it, your next few shots or however many shots you had left would be damage increase if you did it right. And this is something that, takes skill, and, hardcore players, like I did it all the time. You're behind something, boom, active reload, you come out and you nail it, you get the win. Like, I lived and died with this, okay? They took that away. They made the hit detection was more forgiving, right? So basically, they really made it noob-friendly. And Rod Ferguson, a month before this game came out, talked about how they didn't change anything or make anything specifically to fit into the Game Pass model for Gears 5. Then, after the game released, he did an interview with Polygon where he's like, yeah, we built it from the ground up for Game Pass because we were going to get so many new players, and, we gave them a recap, and we gave them a boot camp, and we made noob modes for them, and the hardcore love the noobs. They don't mind them at all. Listen, the real hardcore players do mind the noobs. They want that competition, man. They want that competition. They want things to go, you have, $20 Terminator skins where it gives you an advantage if you buy them because the female or the robot have lesser hit detection boxes. So people are buying these things for $20 and getting an advantage. They're running Gears of War 5 like a mobile game or a free-to-play game. Let me explain that. Mobile games are low cost of entry to no entry fee being $1 or no dollars. And then they're hoping that you'll spend money through microtransactions, oftentimes getting something called a whale, which is a person that would spend a lot of money on microtransactions. Now, only 3 out of 10 people spend any money on free-to-play stuff, okay, inside the game. They'll play the game, they'll try to earn it, they'll grind it or whatever. But when you're giving people this type of reaction, like these are considered, full priced, it's still a full price game. So if you're a person that paid $60 or $100 and some for the collector's edition, wouldn't you be pissed off that other people can just play it for $1 and, get better stuff than you? You know what I mean? Like, they really treated the game poorly. And the reflections are there. If you look at it, I think it's already at the top 25 most played Xbox One games. Not only that, but Madden 18. So the Madden from like 3 years ago has more active players on it. People are leaving. They were banning people, even if their servers were the ones that were disconnecting you. It's a mess. Windows Central just put out an article about how messy the game is online. Now everybody's like, yeah, it's a mess. I can't believe it. They really should have done better with their flagship title. And I'm looking around like, hey, hello. 6 weeks ago, I said this stuff, and everybody said I was crazy and a fanboy. Like, what the hell is the deal with that? You know, that's the stuff that pisses me off as a Xbox fan. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that sort of just pisses me off to no end. Like, I say this stuff so long ago, and yet everybody acts like it's such a new thing. Like, oh, yeah, they really do need to fix gears. I'm like, dude, I said this months and months ago. Months and months ago. Lansville Paul says, crap. Microsoft can't be completely happy with a billion-dollar franchise. Gears number 7 on PD. The games still have bugs to this day. Exactly. They're still fixing it. Holomoko says, it's dog poop. I'm agreeing with you. It's not even, I don't even know if it's a game that can be saved at this point. Like, who's going to go back to it? Shaggy says, agreed. Even a year or so less of exclusivity for a console would make me happy. Give me a reason to feel happy about my purchase. Exactly my point. Nine Lives says, crap doesn't game anymore. Not true. I am a few hours into Modern Warfare. I also have been playing the Ghostbusters remaster. So thank you very much. I actually have been gaming. Cross Xaber says Microsoft gave up from completely solely on the console front. And Max Gaming says Xbox 360 was the last good Microsoft console. Listen, I love the 360. The Xbox One, I liked it from where we started, okay? But the problem is where we started to where we're at now, Microsoft seems far more focused on like doing this weird game streaming stuff. Do you guys notice how nobody's talking about xCloud betas or anything like that anymore? Like, nobody cares. The Stadia stuff is so understated. This stuff isn't the future. I'm sorry. Where you got to react and interact with people online on games and there's already input lag and you're adding lag on top of lag, it's not going to work out. People are going to go, well, it's options. Okay, fine. But look at how streaming stuff is already working. PlayStation View was Sony's own like way that people could view TV, their competitor like Hulu or Netflix or whatever streaming service. They're shutting that down. More of this is going to happen, not just with the movies and TV type of stuff, but video games. There's going to be too much of it and not enough content to go around because everybody's going to want their own content on their own thing. Look to the future of Xbox Game Pass. Sure, now it seems like it's cool, but what happens when, like, you know you're not going to get any Activision games on there or EA games, right? Because they're not going to be on there. Ubisoft isn't putting their games on there because they have their own services. EA has their own service. Activision doesn't have a service yet, but you know that they're probably going to eventually have one, and they don't want their games in a service like that because they don't make as much money. So, listen, Call of Duty Modern Warfare just did $600 million in the first 3 days. Why would you put that in a service? Do you guys remember that they used to announce Gears numbers and Halo numbers for the first 3 days? Like 400 million, 500 million, 3 million players, 3 million sold or whatever. Now it's like 3 million players on a game we gave away for $1 and then not a peep since then because everybody abandoned the game and everybody wants to talk crap on me like I'm the one that made that so, and it's not the truth, you know? Listen, Microsoft are the ones that keep dropping the ball. Like, I'm the one that's telling people this is what's happening. It's not going to work. You spend $100 million to make and market Gears, give it away for $1, and 3 million people play it, and that's making your money back? That's making it profitable? Hell no, it's not. Excuse me real quick while I take a drink. Hey, let's get to the 100 likes, huh? I'm pouring it all out today, man. I'm not 100%, but I'm definitely, doing my best to kind of do a good video, do a good live stream, interact with you guys, have some fun, do our normal thing because I enjoy it, and I got to tell you, I've been missing this, so I definitely want to do it. If you guys are just joining me, like I said, if you want to support anyone, no matter if it's me or somebody else, liking a video is the easiest thing you can do. It helps them. It helps with the algorithms. It helps with a lot of different stuff. It helps other people see the videos and content creators and things like that. PlayStation 4, officially the second best-selling console of all time, and that's important for Xbox fans as well, and I'll tell you why. Everybody's saying consoles are dead. Consoles are dead. Consoles are dead, right? We hear this all the time. Hey, consoles are dead. There's not going to be any more consoles. I hope you know consoles are dead. I hope you know it, right? Well, guess what? Consoles aren't dead. Everybody wants to talk about these 2 billion gamers. Well, let's talk about the hundreds of millions of console gamers, okay? Listen, by the time the Switch is all said and done, that thing might be 100 million. By the time the Xbox One is all said and done, that could be 50, 55 million. I don't know. But, you're looking at almost 300 million consoles between the three. That's healthy. That's a healthy amount, okay? And if you look, PlayStation is selling a lot of different things, okay? They're selling a lot of stuff. So I got some numbers that I was going to throw out here. So they, let's see, they officially passed both the Wii and the original PlayStation to become the second best home console ever. PS4 software sales totaled almost 62 million in the quarter ended September, which is actually down. They actually sold 75 million previously, but I'm thinking that those were partially due to like Spider-Man and stuff like that. PlayStation Plus subscriber is at 37 million almost, up from 34 million. So here's the thing. Sony announces their numbers, good or bad, up or down. You know what's going on with Sony, okay? PlayStation Plus subscribers, which means the people that pay $60 a year for Plus. Microsoft doesn't even announce active users anymore or how many people are across their platforms. And even when they did, they never announced how many were gold subscribers. So we never even knew. They reduced their fiscal year PS4 shipment forecast to 13.5 million, down 1.5 million because they were predicting 15 million shipped this year, but that's not going to happen. Again, we're starting to now finally start to see the effects of announcing these consoles so early. Do you guys remember the time where we would get a console announcement? Okay, look back to even this generation. Sony announced their console in February and in November released it. Microsoft announced their console in May and in November they released it. Now we're getting these console announcements 2 years out and they're wondering why that they're slowing down and stuff like that. Now I'm sure that the holidays we're hearing $150 PlayStation 4 with games like Spider-Man and God of War. That's going to sell no matter what. Like, people are going to pick that up. So you don't have to worry about that. What Microsoft has up their sleeve, I don't really know. But, I'm sure that they're going to be fine as well. They'll probably have some kind of deal that's equal out there. The real thing is they should be trying to sell that X to as many people as possible because they want, people to continue to use that into next generation. Overall revenue slipped 3% in the quarter as well. Operating income rose 16%. Sales in game and network services declined 17%, while operating profit dipped 28%. So basically what's going on is a lot of people are actually starting to, they're starting to use a little bit more money to go into next generation, and they're not having the big hits that they were originally. Like, even though they've had a couple of big games this year, nowhere probably in the realm of God of War and, the Spider-Mans and stuff like that. Now, next year will be a little bit different with Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima and the PS5 launching and stuff like that. So they've, within game and network services, this is very interesting, which was PlayStation Now actually went up to 1 million subscribers, up from 700,000. And that's interesting because we all assume that Xbox is doing good with Game Pass, but we know that there's not a whole lot of, we don't know the direct numbers. They say millions, but are those millions people that are constantly subscribed, recurring subscribers, people that paid a buck? We don't know. Rich says, hey, Crap, do you think PS5 will make more money for Sony than what Microsoft is doing with Scarlet and Game Pass? I think, and from what we're seeing from a lot of these things recently, I think Sony's going to be very, very critically important to price their console cheaper than the next Xbox. Microsoft has this kind of arrogant way about them where they're like, we don't care if you buy our next Xbox or not. It doesn't really matter, blah, blah, blah. So for me personally, I think that that's, kind of what it comes down to as well. The pricing matters. The launch games matter. The stuff that they're going to show you for the future matter. These are things that don't bode well for Microsoft. Hold on. Squeamish says, I tested xCloud yesterday. It had a lot of legs, but worked good. Are you saying it was lagging? Because that's not good if it's lagging. Hey, everybody, if you're getting here, we're close to 100 likes. Please hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Let's see. Bone Slave says, you're not getting tired of yourself beating this dead horse with everyday huge news that's underwhelming? Well, I mean, listen, I don't really consider this to be underwhelming. I think this is pretty big news. PS4 sells 103 million. And they're also, which I also linked this in there, they're looking to buy new studios before the PS5 launches. I think that's really cool. Exactly. PlayStation Now is at 1 million. Now, what you might go is this. Well, hey, CG, what's the deal with that? Like, does that mean people are into streaming, blah, blah, blah? Well, not necessarily, because if you think about it, a lot of people have the option. You can download the games as well on PlayStation Now. Everything except the PS3 games because they can't be emulated or whatever. But I think people are just more into the download service and the ability to play the games more than the streaming. Exactly. There's no good studios left, says Nine Lives. I don't think so. Hey, as you guys join in, I am, a few likes away from 100. Please get me there. And, yeah, I would definitely appreciate that. You guys have been, you guys are pretty cool people, man. I appreciate you guys. The ones that know it and stick around and, and like to have fun and talk about this stuff. I appreciate you guys. So Sony's looking to make more studio acquisitions ahead. It looks like Insomniac was just a start. So listen to this, guys. Pretty interesting stuff. And before you say there's no good ones left, I think there's plenty of good ones left. Don't let it fool you that Sony couldn't go out there and spend a bunch of money. People said that they would never buy Insomniac because Insomniac didn't want to be bought. But here we go. We have them actually being bought, and it's very, very, very interesting indeed, in my opinion. So the latest earnings call, which was announced, it looks like where they announced the PlayStation 4 is now the second best-selling home console of all time, mind you. They are also going to continue to pursue growth investment opportunities to enhance content IP. As in other words, Sony's in talks with more studios in order to bolster its first-party lineup a little bit more. It's very important to be able to bolster the lineup and stuff like that. So you guys might wonder, well, who could they buy? I don't know. I'm not saying that they're all going to be Insomniac level, but there's still the rumors of Remedy Entertainment, okay? There's still different studios out there that they could buy. There's still, a ton of different studios, big, small, like all different kinds. So I would just say that for me personally, it doesn't matter if they're a big studio or a small studio. Like Sony has some nice-sized studios, so they can mix it up a little bit more. Microsoft, I feel like, are in a specific situation where I feel like they still need a couple of AAA developers to round things out, They need a couple of AAA developers who aren't stuck making a singular IP all the time. 343 is always going to make Halo. The Coalition is probably always going to make Gears, although I do believe they're going to make something else. Okay? What's up, General Thad? As you guys come in, hit the like button, share it out. Help me out, guys. Help me out. So I do think that we're going to see maybe a new IP from Coalition and possibly, and this is my prediction, right? People want to know my prediction. I think Gears is so expensive and, to promote it and to outdo the last one and this and that. I feel like within the next year, Rod Ferguson will, quote unquote, retire, and it'll soon come out that they're making a new IP. They might go back to Gears of War, but I feel like maybe down the road. Okay, so I think that that's something that we're gonna have to we might see. So, but until that point, we'll just assume that they're never gonna make anything aside from Gears. Turn 10 is always gonna make Forza. Playground, it looks like they're making Fable and Forza Horizon. It's just one of those things. Jet Fan says, is Outer Worlds too exclusive? I don't really know. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of people who say that it is. Matt Booty hinted at it, that they would make it exclusive. But apparently this game sold 80% of its sales almost on PlayStation. Why would Microsoft give that up? And they could always come up with some kind of thing going, well, it was part of the original deal, blah, 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 so, yeah, definitely. Seth says Platinum Games. Don't they have a better relationship with Nintendo though? But that that is a very interesting point. Who could buy Xbox? Buy or still? I don't know what you're trying to see. Squeamish. Rich says, "Hey Crap, do you think that there's an untapped market that Microsoft is right in the end?" Well, listen, I think that there is a market for mobile. Like, it's stupid to not say there's not a mobile market. There is 100% a huge mobile market. The problem is this mobile market is making these billions of dollars off of hundreds of millions of games that are like free or $1. So if you have, if I'm a musician and I put out, a million albums and I sell a million albums, is that a huge success story? No, because I put out so many damn albums, right? Like, mobile games are cheap to make. Some people spend money on them, but 70% don't. And they're used to playing like these Candy Crushes and stuff like that. So for me personally, I don't really see it as a situation where there's this huge untapped market that really wants to, outside of these hardcore Xbox dudes that just swear up and down that this thing's going to be like game changer or whatever. I don't really see that as being a thing. I don't particularly think that's going to actually be what's going to happen in the future. So I think that I don't think the average person wants to play Witcher 3 on their 5-inch cell phone, and I don't think they want to carry around a fanny pack with a controller and a harness, okay, and extra batteries, because these games are going to draw battery life, and then you're going to it pixelates and oxalates and messes up when you're not playing it, if you're not getting a certain amount of connection. So that's why I think these things aren't going to do extremely well, but at the end of the day, there could be some people to play. The thing is, everybody's like Phil Spencer's like, there's a large group of people that can't afford a console, and this is really going to help them. But looking at the way the phones that are able to play stuff like xCloud, you have to have quite an expensive phone. Like, these phones cost more than the Xbox One S. So they're saying people can't afford consoles, and this will break that barrier. But couldn't you just get a S and Game Pass, and that's still going to end up being cheaper, in my opinion, and you're going to get a better quality game? Like, so for me, I'm not really sure that I get into that or that I buy that exactly what they're trying to sell me. Would I trade every Xbox studio for Take-Two GTA 2K game straight up? I would. Well, would I? I don't know, man. Like, it's hard. I like my racing games, and Playground does do a good job there. Microsoft already said they will continue making multi-platform games. They need Sony's market to continue staying afloat. I mean, it could be. Shaggy says, with the new processing power coming, I would like to see them reboot Gears with an open world, large multiplayer experience, large battles on large maps, even in single player. As long as as long as they do it right, I have no problem with them trying to change it. Mr. Blue says, didn't you at one time that you didn't want, or I think he's trying to say, didn't I at one time say that I didn't want Coalition to make any other game besides Gears? Well, that was true, but that was before they kind of stagnated with it, right? Like, I feel like they've dropped the ball a bit, much in the way that I feel like it's on Sony to sort of do a good job with, not Sony, but 343. Like, this is their last chance, in my opinion, to get Halo right. How many chances are people going to give them? They messed up Halo 4's multiplayer. They messed up Halo 5 single player. They messed up the Master Chief Collection. Like, at some point, people are going to stop giving them a chance. So we really, really have to see what they have to offer. As you guys get in here, we're getting closer to 300 people. Please like the video, share it out, support your boy CG. I definitely do appreciate it. Let me see. I'm going to answer as many more questions as we can. Luigi's Mansion 3, man. It looks really good. Like, how does Nintendo do that? Do you guys know who's developing that? Like, Nintendo games seem to get developed by these studios that nobody's ever even heard of, or nobody even cares to ask, and they're all still hits. I don't understand it. It seems like it's absolutely amazing. Who really wants Gears 6? I don't know, man. Like, I can't. I honestly, I don't. So I'm not really sure. Maybe I'm sure there's some people do, but is Microsoft going to be willing to go put another $100 million out there for those similar results? Like, it doesn't make sense, in my opinion. A new IP might be less costly and actually get more people in than Gears at this point. So, we could see something like that happen. Yeah, you have a powerful point there, Crap. Buying a cheap console like an S is much more convenient and easier than streaming games or mobile. That's what I'm saying, right? Yeah, make it. Shaggy says, make it actually feel like Gears of War and not Gears of Small Hallway with a few enemies. Dude, they would have to put of War back in the title as well, too. I complained about them dumbing down the game, and people just kind of looked at me like I was crazy, and I was trying to explain, look, Gears of War has Gears of War fans. If you're a fan of the franchise, they should appease you. And if you're not, then they're probably not. If you haven't played Gears of War till now, you're probably not going to like it, and you're not going to be interested anyway. So I never understood why, they try to appeal to these casual market people that even if they played through some of the campaign and they liked it, they're not sticking around. That's always been the problem there. So, they already did Moose. He says Gears will come to mobile a la Call of Duty. They did Gears Pop, which did only, I think it did 1 million, and Gears 5 did 3 million. So the free to play mobile game did almost as much as the big tentpole franchise that Microsoft has. With Alan Wake 2 exclusive for PS5, I'm starting to think Sony listens to Xbox fans more than Microsoft. Listen, Microsoft doesn't listen to their fans at all. Okay? Tell me, and I would debate this point with anybody. You get me up with any Xbox fanboy out there, okay? And what has Phil Spencer delivered that fans have actually asked for in terms of video games, right? I never at the beginning of this generation heard anybody go, I sure would like my Xbox games to play on PC. Like, I heard PC people say that, but I didn't hear Xbox people say that. I never heard an Xbox fan go, man, I sure would like to stream my game to my phone while I'm taking a dump. Like, I never heard anybody say that. Like, I hear people say they want exclusives and game announcements and stuff. I never hear any of this other stuff. So to me, that's a little bit disappointing. Raxel says, crap, get COD for PS4 Pro. It has better frame rate. I already got it. I got it. Somebody game gifted it to me on Xbox One X, dude. So I'm used to playing it on Xbox anyway. I forget that everybody can play it cross-play anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I feel like there's new future Xbox these new Xbox fanboys are starting to ruin Xbox's future. I hope Microsoft just returns to being like Sony. Listen, things are changing. I get it. I totally get that things are changing. Crap, have you seen the new Medal of Honor game by Respawn? Yeah, the VR one, but it's coming to like PC VR, which I don't have, unfortunately, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, I am excited by VR. I'm happy that VR is coming and that people are really excited by it. If you guys are just joining me, please hit the like button, share the video out. I like doing these things. I'm answering as many questions as I can. We're talking PlayStation. Holy cow, absolutely did incredible. Neo and Outlast 2 are the games for PlayStation Plus next month. Two pretty good games. I think those are really cool. Now, when it comes to what they're doing, I like what they're doing. They also announced that Neo 2 is going to be out March 30th next year. So, hey, that's another banger for, exclusive or console exclusive to PlayStation fans. So they got something to kind of look forward to there. On Microsoft's side, I don't think it was I don't hate Microsoft, but sometimes they do stuff like, sometimes they do stuff and you just kind of question it. You're like, well, why are they doing this in particular? Okay. Like, I don't understand their lineup for next month, to be honest with you. I understand that Game Pass is taking probably most of the stuff. Okay. But Sherlock Holmes, Final Station, I've never even heard of. I mean, I've heard of Sherlock Holmes, like he's been in movies and stuff like that. I get that, but I don't understand. How is this a thing? Like, it seems like one of these little crappy indie games, and Final Station I never heard of, and then on the original Xbox, Star Wars Jedi Starfighter, and Xbox 360 is an arcade game called Joyride Turbo. So, like, these 4 games are probably some of the piss poor games that I've ever seen Microsoft put out. Okay? And I get that, you know, they just put out Outer Worlds in Game Pass, and, you know, but I don't understand. Apparently, Phil Spencer recently announced that they've spent $1.2 billion on indie games this generation. $1.2 billion. And I'm just like, that's probably more than you've spent on your exclusives the entire generation, and you've put that into indie games. Like, I don't understand the thought process behind that. So, you know, that's a little bit disappointing for me as well. Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the deal is. Am I saying it wrong? Is that how you pronounce it? If you're not enjoying Gears, is your problem a love story? The graphics only have one problem in the first day. No, man, there's many problems. Windows Central just put out a huge list of them as well. So, yeah. Where's the vodka? I can't do any vodka right now, guys, because I got to go out later. Got to do some Halloween stuff. They need to drop games with gold and just throw them in the Game Pass and lower the Game Pass Ultimate price to $9.99. I wouldn't disagree with that. I think that's probably would be a very smart move as well. Gears 5 needs a reboot, according to Seat. He says mechanics are the same since the original. Doesn't matter what character, male or female, have the same mechanics. Sony exclusives are on another level. Absolutely. Dominic says looking forward to MNC. Yeah, it should be back. You know, I was so sick. I actually overslept. I was planning on doing it last Sunday, but freaking Mooch messages me at like, I think 1:30 or something. He's like, you all right? And I was like, oh man. I was like, I literally just woke up. So, yeah. That money could have been useful to buy another exclusive streamer. Oh my gosh. Talk about reason to get pissed off. Xbox Nation. Okay, so let me explain what goes on. Sometimes I do so, and I do less content than ever right now, and it's because content creation can burn you out a little bit, right? Like, and YouTube doesn't help. Okay, like you can, like, they give you all these resources to track who gets your videos, who gets recommended your videos, what percentage of your subscribers get sent your notifications. Like, it gets so low, and I'm not the only one. You can see lots of people complain about it, and I'm fine with, you know, having videos not do well, but sometimes my videos don't even really release. They don't, like, I won't get a notification. They don't technically release like they should. And sometimes I'll delete those, but it's like, you know, you put some work into it, you put time into it. I do so many podcasts. So basically on any given week, I was putting in maybe 25, 30 hours a week into doing videos, okay? And YouTube just kind of is just like, well, we're not going to send out we're going to send out 1% of your subscribers that you're going live with this video, right? Like 1%, you know, like some of my videos get 1.5% sent out to subscribers. People like, man, give the subscribers a chance to see if they want to see it or not. Don't just like, oh, well, base your analytics on this or that. So they really kind of ruin it. It's like, you know, for a lot of content creators. So that kind of burnt me out a little bit. There also hasn't been a whole hell of a lot to talk about. I mean, now, like today, I got stuff to talk about, so it's cool. Xbox Nation, I was doing that for 2 nights. I was still doing that, even though me and my fiance live together. My computer was set up at my old place, and so I would have to do that and then drive at 10 o'clock at night, 45 minutes to come back home. So that was kind of a pain in the butt. So I took a little bit of time off. I was going to come back last week, but I was sick. I had, like, that's when the flu started. And this week something just came up, so I can't do it. So it ended up being a month sabbatical. So I'm taking a month off. I'll be back next Wednesday with the Xbox Nation. I feel refreshed. I'm feeling better about stuff. So, you know, I'm going to continue to have fun and do things the way I want to do them and just have fun with it all, you know. And I know a lot of people, you know, they just, it is what it is, you know what I mean? Like, I can only be me and kind of do the things the way that I want to do them. And, you know, a lot of people don't like it, and I get it. But, yeah, so I was feeling a little bit burnt out. It happens sometimes. But at the end of the day, I'm feeling much better about stuff, particularly right now. And, you know, I think that's really kind of my main thing right now is, like, I wanted to be in a good spot. I wanted to feel good. I wanted to be able to talk about, you know, as much of this stuff as I can, and just, you know, kind of be happy about it again, you know. And I feel like that's where I'm at right now. I feel like I'm doing much better in terms of where I'm able to kind of talk about this kind of stuff and the video game stuff. And I feel like there's a lot more happening right now than what was happening over the past couple of weeks. So I'm kind of happy about that. So as you guys join in, please hit the like button, share everything out, and I would definitely appreciate it. I'm going to answer some more questions and stuff like that. So don't you guys worry. Let's get up over 150. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, crap, just make the Pro your preferred console and look forward to the PS5. You'll be much happier. Oh, I'm getting a PS5. I'm getting, yeah, Greg, I get you, dude. 1%, sometimes 3%. They give you all this new analytical stuff, man. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, holy crap. You know, yeah, Neo 2 release date March 13th, 2020. And there's also a beta as well. So, Y9 Power, what's up, man? I appreciate you guys coming out and supporting the channel and all that kind of good stuff. It really does mean a lot to me. You guys, you know, I think the world of you guys, you know, the ones that I interact with mostly on kind of a day-to-day basis and things like that. What do you guys think about, you know, like all this kind of news that that Sony might want to go after even more studios? I feel like they really outdid Microsoft when they started talking about, you know, when they got Insomniac. Like, that was like such a huge get, in my opinion. Like, holy cow, they got, you know, they got this huge studio that I really wanted Microsoft to get. I remember for a long time I was like, man, Microsoft should offer Insomniac games like the keys to the castle, you know. But, you know, at the end of the day, they ended up not doing that. Sorry about that. I had to take a drink. Somebody was saying, oh man, please mute your mic when you take a drink. So, hey, there you go. I muted my mic while I took a drink. But yeah, so that to me, I thought was very interesting. But when it does come to a lot of stuff, when it comes to gaming, you know, it's just one of those things where I enjoy talking about it. So anyway, Neo 2, that's pretty big news. And for Sony to give away Neo 1, I've never played it. For this price, for, you know, since it's going to be free or whatever with PlayStation Plus, hey, I'm going to download it. Call of Duty Modern Warfare breaks multiple sales records with 600 million plus over its 3-day opening weekend. That's a lot of sales, folks. And good on them for listening to fans and stuff like that. I always feel like it's such a good thing to actually go out there and pay attention to your fans and listen to your fans. And everybody wanted boots on the ground and this kind of thing. So I'm really happy that they were able to do that. Do you think Xbox Lockhart is still there, or is it canceled? Somebody told me that there was a rumor that Lockhart was still a thing. Is there a link to that or something? I think it's canceled. Like, so I talked to a couple of developers, and one of them said that they hadn't heard anything about Lockhart since after that E3 where he announced that they were working on multiple consoles. So I still think it's canceled. I can't shake the feeling of Sony having a couple of big Atomic announcements still brewing. Of course they will. Okay, LMNOP says, didn't Microsoft try to buy Insomniac? They have previously, but Insomniac didn't want to be bought. Sony tried to buy him previously as well. I'm not sure if they upped the money now or what the deal is, but there was definitely something there. Ice Queen Gaming says, I'm getting Neo and Outlast 2 for November. Yeah, those are two really good games. And, you know, for the price of PlayStation Plus, why not? I think that makes a lot of sense. You were right about Insomniac Games, and again, people said you were crazy. When will they learn you're a gamer instead of getting pissed off all the time? Listen, you would be surprised. I had somebody, I don't even know who it was, I don't remember, like, post some crazy GIF about me or really tries to get personal about this stuff. And I'm like, dude, I literally have had very little interaction with you, but you seem obsessed with me. He's like, oh, yeah, Crapgamer's losing subs. I'm like, oh, I get it. You know, listen, I had to go with my heart and be honest with people. There's people out there, and then you look at their super chats lighting up, and, you know, I can tell you what, man, a lot of these people aren't as into Xbox as you think they are. They're into it for a specific reason, because there's a lot of people that want to feel good about their console, and if you're kind of blowing smoke up their ass, then that's all they want, man. I can't do that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I got a conscience. So it got harder and harder to do. And I knew that once I started saying, well, listen, Xbox is cool and all, but they got the worst games. Let's just be honest. I knew it would be almost like starting over. So in a lot of ways, I've kind of started over with the channel or whatever, and, you know, it'll take time or whatever. But the difference is I'm always willing to put in some of that time. Hopefully I can, you know, go back to kind of just talking games and stuff again. And, you know, I do got some interesting ideas and stuff like that. Once the podcast comes back and things like that, I think once we start getting new news, and that'll help reinvigorate things. Because right now it's just like we do get stuff, but it's not as stuff. Like that year between the Scorpio announcement and when it released was just full of like huge mega bombs. You know what I mean? Like megatons. And now it's like Sony skipped all the events this year. Microsoft literally announces dog crap, nothing ever. So there's not a whole lot of like very interesting things that you can talk about. And then also there's like a million more YouTubers now that cover this stuff and do it. And a lot of them go back and do what I was doing years ago. And for me, YouTube changed so much you can't even do anything. It's like you can't cuss, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's like there's so many rules and they weren't there. I was like originally sort of like Howard Stern or Bubba the Love Sponge of YouTube, of gaming, and it was kind of fun, and I would make kind of corny jokes or whatever, and you know, and it was fun. And now like you have to adjust and adjust and adjust, and it just kind of sucks. But you know, I still like talking video games, and you know, I don't have to cuss and do all that stuff to get my point across, but it does take away some of the fun anyway. Hit the like button. I see all you guys out there. Let's see. Nintendo puts their sales and numbers out tomorrow. I think we're going to be blown away by the information. They could be well over 40 million, right? I think they could as well. So, why are you so obsessed with exclusive games? I'm so busy playing games and Game Pass. Finally beat Metro Exodus. Beautiful game. Good story. I think you and MBG complaining too much. Well, listen, that's a fair statement. I think because did I need to buy 3 consoles if there's not exclusive games or exclusive reasons to play each one of them, right? And isn't the competition what makes this so great? Meaning Nintendo comes out with great games, Sony comes out with great games. Shouldn't that make Microsoft strive to come out with great games? And the fact that I think the main reason I'm so pissed off with Microsoft is we've gone so long without a new AAA announcement. Phil Spencer says idiotic things like, it would give people faith in the brand if we announced big new exclusives, but they're not coming out for years, so why do that? You know, like this man literally says that. And he also literally says stuff like, I don't care if you buy our consoles, it doesn't matter where you play our games, blah, blah. Like, you know, he doesn't make you feel good about playing Xbox. I'm sorry, like he doesn't. I'm not saying Game Pass is bad. I think it's fine for some of these smaller games, and I'm glad that you like playing that, but I certainly don't need an Xbox to play Metro, okay? Like, I've seen that game on sale for $15-20 already. I could have bought it and owned it. Like, most of the games that go in the Game Pass, if there's a game I really want, I usually can get it. Like, things are a little bit tighter now. You know, I'm getting married in February and stuff like that, so, but for the most part, if there's a game I can get a review code if I really wanted to, or if I try to, except from Activision, because they're a tough nut to crack. But, you know, realistically, exclusives matter, man. They just do. Wonder if South Park... Wait, how many percent of Xbox decision that you're fine with? It can't be 0%. No, listen. The Xbox One X, I said this the other day on Twitter, right? The Xbox One X is a great console, okay? But it's a great console with the worst exclusive games in the history of Xbox. And that's just, and a horrible UI, mind you. Like, that UI is just god-awful. I don't understand what the deal is with that UI, what they were thinking with that. I just do not get it. It's so slow. It's so bad. They're constantly tinkering with it. Why is that UI 6 years into the generation? Why is it still in beta? I don't get it. You know, come out with something, stick with it. I think that would be what people want. Okay. O Snakes says, crap, I agree. For me, it feels like I'm in this big low of gaming just waiting for next generation. A lot of people are doing that. They announced this stuff way too soon. Way too soon. So Xbox decisions I'm fine with. Okay, like the Elite 2. I can't afford one right now, but I think that's cool. Backwards compatibility I like. I think Game Pass is a fine service, but I'm very much of the mindset that it's a good service for, it's a good service for people, but it's also a bad thing for their big AAA games. Okay? What I mean by that is Gears of War. $100 million went into that game likely for marketing and for the development of it. And at the end of the day, 3 million people played it because it was a buck. And a lot of people look like you shoved this really good game. I give it the piss because they did mess with it and made it casual, but it's still a good game. And they threw it in there with the likes of State of Decay 2 and Sea of Thieves and Crackdown 3, right? Like, you treat that game better, in my opinion. It's a higher class game. So I wouldn't put those games day and date in there, right? Like, I think Game Pass and PlayStation Now would be great places to put some games day and date, okay? The Concrete Genie for PlayStation would be one that would help over there in PlayStation Plus. Or PlayStation Now, excuse me. Some of these smaller games are definitely better off going, like Ori, put that in there day and date. That would help that game. Battletoads, that game's going to suck, but hey, put it in there. Flight Simulator, sure. Bleeding Edge, sure. State of Decay, sure. Halo, Gears, Forza, hell no. I would say wait 3 months. Wait 3 months, get your sales, and then people are going to still subscribe to it to get it because, it's still, cheaper or whatever, and I think that would still help. I wonder if South Park would do another episode of Console Wars like they did with Xbox One and PS4. Dude, yeah, those were funny. Let's see, between Xbox Game Pass and this financing for Xbox, is Microsoft positioning themselves to be the poor trash console? Whoa. No, they just love they just love the guys, guess what? Game trailers came through. I think he just DM'd me my code for Death Stranding, y'all. Death Stranding, it's coming. Woo! Man, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised he came through. I love Game Pass, but there should be a gap of a few months before. Exactly. Like, if we as fans can sit there and go, you know what? I wish that, Game Pass would do this or that or the other thing as fans or whatever. But, yeah, for me personally, I just think that it's interesting that, so many people are like, hey, that would be better for the games and better support for the games. But then you have this hardcore Xbox fandom that's just like, hey, you know what? I think it's fine. I'm perfectly fine with this. I'm perfectly fine with that because Microsoft is all about those subs. They like those subs, So, yeah, that's something that I always say. Hey, we're getting close to 300. Please hit the like button. Share it out. I would definitely appreciate it. Definitely love talking to you guys and getting these kind of things in. But, yeah, for me personally, I just think that it's I would love to see Microsoft do something a little bit to the to kind of appease the gamers that want these big AAA games now. You know what I mean? So that's my hope for the future as well. But I did hear a lot of good things about Obsidian's Outer Worlds. If Outer Worlds 2 can be the game that they want it to be, hey, good for them. For me personally, that's not my type of game. I know a lot of people are like, hey, what do you think about this game or what do you think about that game? I personally don't really care about that. So Sony also was talking a little bit about their PS5 game lineup, and they say it's going to satisfy fans, which I think is something that we all kind of figured would be the case. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that? But again, we have never heard Microsoft say that. So will Microsoft ever say, hey, we're going to satisfy our fans? I would probably keel over. So Sony says that its next console will be a success. during their latest financial briefing. The recently appointed CFO, Mr. Totoki, commented on the PlayStation 5. Naturally, they're expecting the next-gen system to be a hit once it launches late next year. Comments on the PS5 software lineup, according to Wall Street Journal. He stated that both Sony's first-party studios and third-party studios are lining up next-gen titles that will satisfy gamers and gaming fans alike. So, it's not a huge scoop, obviously, but hey, this just in, ladies and gentlemen. Sony says Sony fans will be excited and happy with their lineup of games. So, I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with their lineup. First of all, The Last of Us 2 got delayed till almost June, so that's a weird. Ghost of Tsushima supposedly might be a cross-gen title. What games are we going to get? Are we going to get The Last of Us 2 multiplayer? Like, what are your guys' expectations for this kind of stuff? Like, what do you want to see from Sony next generation to kick off? We know we're getting Halo from Microsoft, right? That's a given. They've already said, hey, we're going to get Halo. You know, but what are we going to get from Sony? You know, I would love to hear that. Let me know in the chat. Yeah. I think Sony's going to be smart. I think they have a couple of surprises up their sleeves. Let me see here. Hey, hit the like button. Let's get over 150. Hey, Impatient Fire says we don't need exclusive games. We need more shampoo and controller deals. Game trailers. I got it, bro. Woo! I'm going to be playing me some Death Stranding. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, here's the thing. Game trailers love you, buddy. I love the interaction with you, man. I love that you think with your heart. Sometimes, though, you got to think with your head, man. Gears 5 was never going to get above a 90. I'll let you into the secret, though. If it would have scored a 90, I wouldn't have taken your money or your game, man. But the fact that it just got an 84, well, it leveled out. And you kept on hyping. You were like, well, IGN could come out with their second part, and it could get up to a 90. It could get an 88, an 89. GameStop or you were like what the hell is that? GameSpot. They could raise it to an 89, and I'm like, dude, it's probably going to be where it's at, and it ended up being an 84. So yeah, if you hadn't have been so adamant, man, I probably wouldn't have. But appreciate you paying off your bets anyway, dude. I know, right? If they can do what they did this gen, several new IPs make continued IPs bigger and better, more third-party exclusive deals. I agree 100%. Stelzer says, I miss the days when Halo was a huge release. In the 360 era, Halo was almost as big as Call of Duty. Now I hear no casual gamers even bringing up Halo Infinite. Well, listen, I wonder what they're going to do to Halo, right? Like, are they going to... are they going to casualize it? Are they going to do what they did to Gears because it's in Game Pass? I would expect play it for $1 with Game Pass. Like, I fully expect that type of stuff. So you have to kind of wonder, like, what's going to happen there? Are they going to make it almost like that mobile type game again where, you know, you have to buy different things, loot chests or whatever? Like, how are they going to do it? How are they going to monetize this? Okay, supposedly this game has a $500 million budget. Okay, they can't afford to do a $1 giveaway for this game and have 3 million or 5 million play it, and that's it, just players, and then have it fall off the face of the earth. Like, so many people damage control for Gears, right? More people right now are playing Madden 18. All right, we're on Madden 20 or what, 21? Yeah, Madden 20. So the Madden from 3 years ago, and I can't imagine there's a ton of people on that. There's more people on Madden from 3 years ago on Xbox Live right now than Gears of War 5, which just came out 6 weeks ago. I cannot imagine that Halo would be acceptable to suffer that same fate. So they've got to be extremely worried. Not only that, but they lost another person who left 343 recently, and now is working on the next Metroid game for Nintendo. So they're losing a lot of players. They're having a lot of issues. This stuff it doesn't stop. It's been incredibly weird and very interesting to say the least, that all this keeps on happening. Hey, can you guys get me up to 150 likes? I would appreciate it. We are closing in. It definitely remembers a lot. Yes, Holomoko, he says it all. Respect for keeping your bet. Exactly. Stelter says, I totally see Halo becoming Destiny for sure. Das Me C says PS5 will sell 5 million in a week and Scarlet 100,000. Well, I guess it depends. Okay, what game? If like I'm not getting a Scarlet day one, 100% for sure. But I'm gonna get a PS5. Now I can play Halo because I have Game Pass to 2020 through 2022. I can just play that on my X, and I'm probably gonna get a pretty damn good experience on that. But if they're making it like Halo, that's not my bag. That's not my cup of tea at all. So Matthew B says Halo will blow your socks off. I hope so. I used to love that game. So we'll see how it goes. Shaggy says, remember the rec packs in Halo 5? I don't have high hopes for what Game Pass is going to do to Infinite. I don't either. The Game Pass effect, even though everybody's like, Game Pass is great, and I agree, good value, but we're starting to see how we all suffer a bit as well. So I think that's something that we have to keep in mind going forward. Impatient Fire says Gears 5 multiplayer is dead. Yes, unfortunately. Matthew says, I dumped my X yesterday for a Pro. I hope current gen will still be supported for a while after the 5 drops. They'll probably do crossplay for a while on there as well. Not only that, but you have a ton of back catalog stuff to play through until then. So I would say that they'll probably continue to drop, games that'll support both for at least a couple of years. At least a year and a half, and then probably slow. Like, I don't think, like, whatever Naughty Dog's next game is going to be on the PS4, but, some stuff will definitely be supported. Nobody will leave Destiny, a Bungie game for Halo. Yeah, unfortunately, you're right. Halo 5 is an old game, dude. Yeah, Halo 5 is an old game, and it's out of the top 50. Halo, and it wasn't a very good Halo game. I'm not saying it was a bad game. It wasn't a good Halo game. I don't know where my harmonica is. Harmonica. Let's see. Not to mention Mikey Barra left too. Xbox can't catch a break. Mikey Barra left Microsoft, which was already having problems, for Blizzard, who was having a lot of problems too. So that kind of shows you everything you need to know. Let's see. Halo 2 was the last big Halo game. I liked, dude. Halo 3 was a happening, dude. I don't know if you remember that, but there was remember Halo 3 had this light, this map of like areas like North America and all over the world, and these lights for when people were playing. And there's this thing going around where it shows over 1 million people concurrently playing Halo 3. Right? Even now, there's still over 1,000 people or something like that. But, yeah, back in 2007, man, Halo was a happening. And it was great. Microsoft used to announce numbers for their games and players for their games, right? Like, Halo 3 had 500,000 players on it this month, or 750,000 players. Like, it was really a great thing. Our Naughty Dog's employees leaving. Somebody left, went and signed somewhere else. But look, the thing is, you have to have a good structure in place for these types of places, okay? So when people go, Crapgamer, show that same energy, crap, right? When they say that to me, it doesn't make sense, because Naughty Dog has never put out a bad game. Right? They have that same structure. They got these people that are really passionate. The Neil Druckmanns who are leading Naughty Dog. They got these passionate, like, leadership people, right? And they always seem to do things quality. They don't really have a problem with delaying something if it needs to be delayed. They're allowed to do their own IP whenever they want to do it. Like after The Last of Us 2, they're doing a totally new IP that apparently they've already started. So they're allowed to do what they want. 343 is completely told to do nothing but Halo by Microsoft. Bonnie Ross, what is her ties to Halo? She doesn't seem passionate. You never see her on Twitter talking it up. Like, again, she just seems so disinterested in what she's doing. And when you have leadership problems, that's a problem. Okay? So, yeah, I think it's a little bit weird. And I also think, it's kind of sad. And 343 hasn't put out a great game. Naughty Dog does. That's all they do is put out great games. So there's a big difference there. Like, if Naughty Dog had just put out a clunker with Uncharted 4 and it had scored bad and been a huge drop in quality, then and people were leaving, you might go, oh, is there a reason to worry? For Microsoft, Master Chief Collection was a wreck. Halo 5 was a wreck. People are leaving left and right. You're a year away from launch and more people are leaving? I think people are right to question this, and I understand why they're doing that. Okay? So, yeah, I do think that people are right to question that. I just think that, it's just going to take a little bit of, we're going to have to wait and see. I hope it's great. Xbox One, well, PlayStation Nation says, where's Xbox One at? 35 million? I guess it depends on who you ask. So MSNBC said it was at 46 million. Do I believe that? I don't know. I tend to think that Xbox One, in all honesty, is somewhere around 42, 43 million. But if you want to give it 46 million, I think that's not terrible, especially with how this generation started. I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's terrible. But it's definitely not anywhere close to where Sony is. Not only that, but if there is 46 million, man, those people aren't spending for jack squat. You know what I mean? They aren't spending very much, and they aren't buying much because Sony keeps dominating the sales of everything at a huge split. Same energy. Good Apollo says, Halo 5 didn't have that feel of passion. It feels like a typical Microsoft product, not exciting. That's a good point. Like, I feel like Microsoft oftentimes tries too hard to put there's somewhat of agenda. Like, I'm all for inclusion of, everybody can game that should and they want to or whatever, but not every game is for everyone. Not every game has to be, changed to fit the times. Like I didn't get it with Gears and I didn't get it with the last Halo. It's like they tried to put these characters who weren't Master Chief into it, and I didn't care about those characters at all. And apparently nobody else did either. So, if he says 46 sold or shipped, I don't really know. It could be shipped. 46 million and 26 million from the U.S. Yeah, see, that's the problem that I have with this number, Dr. Sleazoid, is, hey, thanks, Lansville Paul. Hit that like button before you head out, bro. Dr. Sleazoid says 46 million and 26 million from the U.S. If it's 26 million from the U.S., that means that they had to get 20 million elsewhere. And where else is Xbox popular? I mean, it's okay and it does pretty good in the UK, but everywhere else, it gets stomped on by PlayStation. So I find it hard to believe that they managed to make up 20 million console sales in these other areas. So Matthew B says, are Sony dominating sales of online PS Now compared to Game Pass? No, I think Game Pass probably has more. But if Sony started giving away PlayStation Now for $1, the way that Microsoft has, I'm sure that they could easily catch up. I think that there's probably 3 to 4 million Game Pass subscribers, and not long term, but at least for the interim. And there's 1 million PlayStation Plus subscribers. But Sony, I will say this, I see that PlayStation Now commercial every single day, multiple times a day. And I do think that the ability to download those games makes it much more appealing. I don't think people are actually streaming those games, but I think they're actually downloading them. So I think that, they're really, really helping. Ramen Noodles says 46 million is horrible when you consider the mid-gen refresh. I agree. Rundaz says, I don't know how exactly to put it, but Xbox games got no soul. Platforms for microtransactions first, good game second. Yeah, listen, I said this. Outer Worlds probably isn't a game that would have been greenlit by Microsoft from Obsidian. If you think about this, okay? Obsidian Entertainment just released the Outer Worlds, right? Got really good reviews. I don't believe there's any microtransactions or online multiplayer in this game or co-op or anything, right? I haven't played it, so I don't know. But I believe there's absolutely None of that. It's just a tried and true single player RPG, right? Microsoft would never allow that. I know they're like, we give creative freedom. But if you notice, Obsidian, they're hiring for their next RPG, and they're looking for people familiar with multiplayer and transactions and stuff like that. So I would assume that even though they're going to be able to make their own game, they're going to have to shoehorn some kind of loot box, something in there for people. You know what I mean? So I feel like even though they might have creative freedom, I still feel like Microsoft breathes down their throats to do like, you know, to have this multiplayer or whatever. The Ginger Patriot says Sony is doing the exact same thing as Microsoft, so you might want to see the truth, son. What are they doing? I don't really consider them doing the exact same thing. I would love like some kind of thing. Like, I get that things are changing and they're gonna, but Sony's been doing game streaming since the beginning of this generation, so that's not new, right? They've been doing it. Hold on, I see some more questions. The main thing I respect about Sony and Nintendo is the fact that they prove that you don't need microtransactions. Exactly, right? Jim Sterling said something similar. He did a video about how Microsoft does all these microtransactions, and Microsoft is such a rich company, they don't need to do it. It ruins their games. Microsoft's biggest problem is focusing on the wrong areas like services instead of traditional areas like making the quality of games better. 100% agree. PlayStation Nation says, I think the PS4 will reach PS2 sales. 47 million units to sell in the next 4 years is achievable, especially with them last exclusives and price drops. Yeah, they have to price drop for sure, and I think having that thing for $150 this holiday is going to help a lot. Let me see. Has the X sold more than the Pro? I think no. I think the Pro has sold decently well, and I think that the X hasn't sold very well. I mean, I think that is the X even over 1 million sold? I don't know. You know. Are Microsoft going to release the active player numbers for Outer Worlds? Since it's not their game, I don't know if they will. They might announce some kind of numbers on Game Pass that played it or something. They'll force the Outer Worlds 2 to become like Fallout 76. It wouldn't surprise me. Microsoft doesn't have people who want to make their games. They have people who are told to, not someone like Cory Balrog who was passionate about God of War. I agree, that's a big problem. Listen, again, it comes down to leadership, you guys. If you don't have good leadership and you don't have passionate people, then it's going to be pretty obvious. And I think that's something that, you know, they can't have going forward. You have to have people be passionate, and you have to have people, you know, want to be able to do this stuff. And I think that's something that they're going to have to be able to continue to do. And hopefully they do continue to do, is like get people that actually want to be there and want to make these great games and are passionate about making these great games. And I feel like if they can do that, they'll be in a good spot. You know, the rest will take care of itself. So as you guys join in here, please hit the like button, share out this video. I definitely do appreciate it. And, you know, and I think that what it comes down to is Sony has a lot of those passionate people. When you see, like, Neil Druckmann, you see him, you think of Naughty Dog. When you think of Insomniac, Ted Price, right? When you think of Sony Santa Monica, you think Cory Balrog. Those are the main things. Now, when you think of Gears, you do think Rod Ferguson. But I think that the fact that he had to specifically make a game that was doing, you know, that was specifically made for Game Pass, I think that was the thing that people had a big problem, that I have a big problem with, is like, you're trying to make a game for Game Pass, and I get it, but at the end of the day, it really, really sort of kind of dropped the ball with what they were doing, because casuals don't stick around for very long, man. That's something that's been proven time and time again, and you pissed off your hardcore fans. Excuse me 1 second. So you have your loyal fans, and you've pissed them off, and then you have casuals who might have dabbled around for a couple of days, and now they're gone. You know, on to the next thing. That's a big problem. So hopefully you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from with that. And, you know, it's just one of those things, you know, like, I'm not against Game Pass or anything like that. I just feel like when it comes down to it, Microsoft kind of drops the ball a bit with this kind of stuff. So hopefully we can see I just don't, Bonnie Ross doesn't do it for me in that role for Halo. You know, like what is she bringing to the table? You know, I don't get it. You know, I do see some people passionate, man, like on the Turn 10 team, and some of those people are. But then you got some people that just don't seem like they care about their job at all, you know? So that's a bit of a problem going forward as well. So also, you know what? I wanted to talk about this because I saw some people tweeting about this yesterday. Prepare to be disappointed. Do not, please, do not expect Microsoft to show off something like brand new from Ninja Theory at XO19, okay? People are hyping this up. I'm telling you, like the old Crapgamer of years ago would have done a Megaton video. Wow, Megaton! Microsoft announces Ninja Theory game's going to be at XO, okay? This is not it, fam. This is not it. They're not announcing anything. They said you're going to be on the edge of your seat, okay? Think about that. Think about that, okay? They say you're going to be on the edge of your seat. It's bleeding edge stuff, right? If you're not interested in bleeding edge, and Lord knows I'm not, they're probably going to announce either an open beta or a release date for that trash game, okay? And that's it. Do not expect any huge announcements. Listen, I implore you, if you're an Xbox fan, first of all, I appreciate you sticking with me. Second of all, when has Microsoft ever stuck tried and true and announced something good after, you know what I mean? Like, when have they ever announced anything good after hyping up an event? They literally have never. Every single year, it's going to be the biggest, the best Xbox lineup ever, blah, blah, blah. And they never, ever, ever, ever come through. So please, friends, do not get excited. It's just another crappy Inside Xbox with those crappy hosts, and they're going to announce some Game Pass crap, and that's it. You know what I mean? And probably a release date for it. Like, you're not getting anything. I'm sorry. They just aren't going to do it, guys. If they're going to show anything, it will be the X Scarlet. I doubt that they're going to show anything. They might be forced to mention Scarlet because Sony's dominating the headlines lately, but I sincerely doubt that they're going to actually announce anything much or any, you know, in the future, blah, blah, blah. Like, why? Like, that's not Phil Spencer's credo, you know? Microsoft, according to Satanist, Microsoft will debut a new game at PSX. I don't think there's going to be a new game. When is XO? It's in November. Xbox Studios makes me think of Vacation at Work. I agree. Hey, Peter Zeke likes the thumbnail. Listen, I saw that picture of Phil where he's doing the X thing next to Aaron Greenberg, and I edited it and I put it in other stuff now, and it's funny, right? So yeah, I try to be funny. I have a good time. Hold on. Satanist says Sony told Naughty Dog to make Uncharted to compete with Gears. They were just gonna make a platformer game. Well, I mean, is that a fact? Because I heard Naughty Dog was trying to make something similar to Tomb Raider. Like, that's what they wanted to do. So, and in fact, Naughty Dog isn't making another Uncharted. So there is rumors of another Uncharted game being made, but it's not going to be made by Naughty Dog. So supposedly, Sony has this secret studio in California with some ex-Naughty Dog people, like, overseeing it and working on it. So who knows? I mean, I'll be interested to see how that holds up compared to what we've been getting. So it's gonna be very interesting. Matthew says, so Gears Outer Worlds and open beta for Bleeding Edge over a few months for $1. Sure. I mean, if you're into budgets, man, that's your thing. Like for me, I haven't even downloaded Outer Worlds, and I had the chance to play the Bleeding Edge beta, but I'm not interested. It's online only trash, man. I'm not interested in the least. You never know, crap. Yeah, trust me, I know. Dumoxes says Forza Motorsport, good simulators, but a little boring. Horizon's beautiful games. I prefer Horizon as well. I do. Dual Purpose says, nah. Naughty Dog are making Stray Cross for PS5, a sci-fi first-person shooter, 2 protagonists. Listen, Naughty Dog's not making the next Uncharted, supposedly. It's going to be a different team. Everybody that's here, hit the like button. You guys are fantastic. I really would appreciate it if you guys could hit that like button, share it out. It really does mean a lot to me. You guys come here, shoot the breeze with me, talk the talk, walk the walk, all that kind of good stuff. Definitely means the world to me. You guys have been absolutely crazy. If you guys got some more questions, please leave them in there. But yeah, again, I implore you, do not get your hopes up about this stuff, okay? Absolutely no hopes up about about this. I think you would just be let down. Like, Phil Spencer's not the guy for surprises. He just isn't. He's not the guy that's like, oh, hey, let's surprise everybody with a huge game announcement. It doesn't happen like that, unfortunately. So, if you didn't know, now you know. So, yeah, everybody hit the like button. Share it out if you haven't done so already. Letting everybody know Xbox Nation will be back next Wednesday. What studio do I think Sony will buy next? I kind of think maybe Remedy. Right? Remedy does really good single-player stuff. Like, I think Control was a really good game, but I feel like it maybe would have been better as an exclusive for Sony. Okay? Like, with Sony's money and budget and marketing behind it. So, I still think they might buy them. I still think that there's some other things, other studios that they can definitely get as well. So, it'll be depending on who there is. Dominic says, is Halo the only AAA game we can expect at E3 next year? I think that next year we'll finally get something on Fable, but I still think Fable is a couple of years away at least. And they might show the Forza game, because I think Forza Motorsport 8 is going to come out in 2021, but not at the holiday. I think it's going to come out before the holidays, and I think they're going to show that off. Like, I think Halo is going to be the only AAA we get at launch this exclusive. But they're going to show a couple of other things. I think they're going to show the Forza. They have Game Pass, so it's redundant for them to release a bunch of games at once to launch something, even though that's the way that it's traditionally been done. That they're going to show a couple things and be like, oh, Forza Motorsport 8 will come out in April of 2021. So play Halo for 4 months, and then, you can play Forza for $1. This is the way that they do things. You know what I mean? Stelter says, I really don't understand the hype for xCloud either, with mobile games like Call of Duty Mobile being fantastic and PUBG and Fortnite, right? And these are games that you can download and play. You don't have to stream them. They're not laggy. So I don't understand it either, man. I have no idea. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a hell of an interesting day. I've had a good time. My throat held up pretty good. Xbox Nation will be back next week. Next Wednesday night. It's been a hell of a day. A lot of good stuff to talk about. I really appreciate you guys coming out, shooting the breeze with me. Please hit the like button. Like I said, share it out. Subscribe. Hey, if you haven't subscribed, tell your friends. All that kind of good stuff. You guys rock. Have a fantastic day. I got to get out of here. Got some stuff to do. You guys have a happy, safe Halloween. Yes, Y9 Power says Sony getting Remedy would show how incompetent Microsoft really is. Terrible to marketing. Hate cloud tech too. I hate that stuff too, man. It's bad. So share it out, everybody. Hey, we're close to 200 likes. Can you guys get me up over 200 likes before the end of the show? I'm about to end it. Let's do it. We're at 20 away. 20 likes. That's it. Peace out, you guys. I really appreciate it. Rack them up. Have a fantastic day. You guys are amazing. Have a good time, man. Peace out. Later.